Hi and welcome back, my lovely little piggies. In this week's video I'm showing you how I made a top from a tubing of ribbing. It's like a ribbing that you use like for your cuffs, maybe on like a sweater or something, and I just used it as a top. I must say this is not very size inclusive, so if the ribbing doesn't fit around you, it's not gonna like work. But it depends on the kind of ribbing that you get, on how stretchy it is, on how tight you like your clothes, and this one just happened to fit me very well. And so when you're buying the ribbing, you just have to make sure it fits you, and I like to do that by rubbing it on both sides and putting it over my chest, and then I can gauge if it will go around my chest and the rest of my body or not. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you how I made it. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so as you can see, this is my tube of ribbing. It is very stretchy widthwise. I also use this stretchy bias binding. It is very stretchy, don't pull on it, it will curl up on itself. So to cut out the shape that I needed, I used this pattern thing that I made previously from the exact same fabric, just in a different color, and I just placed it on there as good as I can. Obviously, this will kind of stretch out over time. Here's a little diagram of how you want to place it and where your cuts are gonna be. My only tip is just to cut less than you think you need and then try it on, and then cut out the rest that you think you want gone as well. These are the approximate measurements that I used, but obviously this is depending on your size. Next up, you want to mark your center front so you can always try it on the right way around. And then I simply sewed together the straps to make sure I can try it on properly. I did this with a straight stitch because this is not a seam that gets any stretch at all, really. Here is the first time I tried it on, and it fits pretty good already. But I wanted the armholes to be a little bit bigger, and I knew that I wanted the neckline to be a little bit deeper. So I'm going ahead and cutting those pieces out, obviously folding it so it will be symmetrical on all the sides. And then we already get to the bias binding. I'm using a zigzag stitch that is a little bit tighter and not as wide as your normal zigzag stitch. Approximately looking like this. And then I'm grabbing the right side of my armhole and I'm placing the bias binding open side, right sides together like so. And I'm going to be stitching in this little groove here. And when you sew this, you need to pull the bias binding just a bit so the armhole is nice and snug, especially around the curves. After sewing the first part, it looks like this, and now I'm going to fold over the bias binding to the wrong side of the fabric. And I'm actually going to leave it open. I'm not folding the fold on the fold. I'm just, as you can see, I'm leaving the part open just so it lays more flat and is not such a thick bias around it. I do pin it all just to make sure that everything is gonna go in the machine correctly. As you can see, I leave it open on this side. You can do however you like. I liked it this way. And then I'm just gonna top stitch right along the edge of the biased binding. And this is what it looks like after top stitching. It is still stretchy, which is very important, and it looks nice and neat. I do all of this to all the other edges. I did the upper edges first and then tried it on and made sure it was the correct length, and then I cut the length and did the hem. So this is a little close-up of what it looks like. This is the front and this is the inside. As you can see, I cut off the excess over there from the bias binding, and yeah, this is not gonna fray really because it is stretchy jersey fabric. And yeah, it looks nice and thin, not too thick around the edges, which is important. And here is what it looks like on. Light turns to dust. I'm down to nothing. I am no longer in control. Alright, so I am very happy with this result. There's just one thing I would like to stress that you might need to look out for if you are making this. So this was the first side that I sewed, and I tried to pull the bias binding while I was sewing, just so it can like grab the fabric, and I don't think I did it enough on this side. As you can see, this side here is gaping a little bit. It's not too bad, it's not too noticeable, but if you want to make it perfect, you need to pull it a little bit more like it is. All right, here you can see it lays nice and flat, and on this side there's a little bit of gaping, also a lot more in the back. I mean, obviously if I pull it down, that's not there anymore, but just so you can know how to fix that. So yeah, that's all. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!